Hello and a very warm welcome to everyone to EWJ Podcast, where we sit with educators across the globe to discuss up-to-date approaches of the theme in focus, followed by some actionable teaching tips and secrets of the trade that we will be inspiring for the listeners and help them to enhance their teaching and learning experience. Your host today is Maria Zahir, and with us today is our very special guest, Israa Osman from TEFL. Welcome, Israa. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm great. Thank you so much, Maria, for having me today. It's a pleasure to be with you and your followers from all around the world. How are you?
We are great here. It's pretty hot in Saudi. How's it going in your country?
Yeah, actually, I'm in Egypt right now, and it's quite hot, but of course, it's not as hot as Riyadh.
Oh, yes. You know that, right? How hard it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, Israa. Israa, if those listeners who don't know her as yet, she's the co-founder of TEFL for Educational Digitalization and Transformation, author of Education Passion blog with MA in Educational Leadership from University of Manchester. With over 13 years of teaching experience, Israa is certified Cambridge trainer for teaching with digital technologies, holds a TEFL and a Diploma in teacher training from London Training College, CELTA and CET from Cambridge. With years of teaching training experience, especially in teaching and digital technologies, and extensive experience in teaching ESL at Princess Noura University in Kayseh for more than 5 years, and Prince Sultan University, which has helped develop her empathetic approach to teaching, training, and writing to support teachers worldwide. Right. So, Israa, I know being a founder of this platform, TEFL, co-founder, I think you are the right person to talk about today's topic. And so let's take the approach in general and start about talking how the educational arena has changed itself post-pandemic.
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to thank you first for the amazing introduction. And regarding your question, this is a very, very important question, especially nowadays. The COVID has affected like all sectors worldwide, especially education, and especially in the developing countries. And it had its impact during the COVID and post-COVID, because you know what happened during COVID is people were trying to they were in shock. They were trying to realize what's happening, what's going on. Is this really happening? A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of students haven't been able to get proper education. A lot of teachers, they had their hands tied because they didn't have the tools or the ways or the means to reach their students or to teach them properly. A lot of schools also had the same problem. So now, since we've moved now from the shock to acceptance, and now it's time to take an action. It's important to see that COVID has has a lot of economic And this is something that I believe will also have its impact on education.
True.
So, as someone who's been in the education field as a teacher and now being moved to the business sector, I can see like both sectors how they are being affected and how would that need drastic changes in the way that we handle education in the future. So if you think like that now it's back, that we return to normal, and if you define normal by getting back to what we used to do before COVID, then I think you're taking the wrong approach. Things will never be the same as they were before COVID. Even with schools getting back to face-to-face and schools getting back to like regular teaching techniques and stuff like that, but it's not going to be the same. You can even see the impact of this on education in the US. Like there's been thousands of teachers who quit their jobs in the past few months, which is one of the biggest and the most economically stable countries in the world, and you can still see the impact of COVID on them. So thinking that everything will return back to the way it was before COVID, I think not.
So Israa, why do you think that some of the teachers have left their profession they've been doing for over the years? Why that passion has suddenly died out?
I think it's not the passion. I think it's the way that like businesses are run. Like at the end, when you look at a school, when you're even looking at a school owner, or you're looking at, it's still at the end, it's run as a sort of a business. You know, there is there are profits, there are losses, and the problem with most schools is that most school owners, they are looking at the situation right now in a different way. So they want to have the as I was saying, so the thing is, it's not about the passion, it's about the appreciation. Many teachers have felt that they are not appreciated enough. They are being overloaded, with like extra tasks, so that the school management can balance, the financials. So they had to put more tasks, which means more effort on the teacher. So I think it's the lack of appreciation that led to that.
Probably, and especially pandemic wasn't easy, especially for anybody in any walk of life, but for teachers especially, when emergency teaching took place and we all had to go online. And that's where educational platforms and such as ourselves jumped in to improve the professional development skills of the teachers, and we ran free hands-on sessions for them to get their professional development training. So what role did Teacher Gen take place in that empowering teachers during that time?
Yeah, actually, we've been doing a lot of plans, and we've been doing a lot of projects regarding that. We've always thought that teachers are like the core of education. So if you have an empowered teacher, a confident teacher, a teacher who feels appreciated, who has the proper knowledge, who has access to from that point of view, we started doing like free webinars. We started doing our own like live sessions with professionals worldwide. We've even started like supporting teachers because, you know, due to the economic crisis that's happening nowadays, many teachers can't like they barely can have their the ends meet, you know, from one month to the other. So we thought about helping them finding other paths in education, alongside teaching. So we had our Teachers Beyond Teaching group, where we try to have our guests and our experts from different fields, such as teacher training, instructional design, content creation, and stuff like that, so that they can help teachers know how they can start their profession in this field as well. So they can have something else that can support them during these tough times, and at the same time they don't have to leave the profession that they love, which is teaching.
Great, that's absolutely great. So like you've already touched the point where we wanted to talk more about how can I continue my professional development with my minimal means in hands, right? So we know COVID has brought lots of recession, inflation, and joblessness as well. And the stress of even catching COVID has also added something for all of us in our lives. It's still lurking behind somewhere, looking from dark corners where to catch who. So what do you suggest for those teachers who want to have professional development, as a good solid professional development plan that will improve their teaching and learning experience in their classrooms?
Well, it's very, very important to set a goal before you start any path in professional development. Like, what is your goal? What are the skills that you want to develop when you do that? Because the thing is, professional development resources is now widely spread worldwide, and you can see thousands of resources online. And sometimes it's quite hard to know where to start from. Like, where is my starting point?
Yeah.
Actually, the starting point comes from you as a teacher. You're the one who decide where do you want to start. So, for example, like nowadays, as we've mentioned, like post-COVID, like education now is headed towards using technology in education.
True.
And I can see that there might be a lot of teachers who already know their teaching strategies, they already know the learning theories, they already have the background and the experience in teaching, but they still need to look into the implementation of technology in education into a more deeper level. Most teachers believe that if they use, let's say, a YouTube video in one of their classes, or they show it to the students, then they are implementing technology in education. But unfortunately, it's not like that. Implementing technology in education means that the type of technology that I use must be serving the objectives, the academic objectives that I am doing. It has to be measuring something related to the objectives that we have for this lesson or for this unit. So knowing how to link or to do this kind of relationship between using the technology and how it can serve the class or the unit's objectives, plus putting in consideration the students' needs and the students' abilities, this what it means to properly implement technology in education. And this concept, actually, a lot of teachers that I've met and talked to, they still don't fully comprehend it, you know. So so it's this is where they need to focus on, especially that Technology in education now is not something, it's not a luxury, it's not something that is optional. I
Yeah.
believe that, remember when I told you at the beginning, like it's not going to be the same as it was before
Yeah.
COVID.
True.
And this
Yeah.
is what I meant.
Yeah. First, we
Using
had options.
technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
We had people saying, "Oh, I use Quizlet, just to print or let my students go on, just to recycle the vocabulary." Now it has become a necessity to think beyond it. So it's not that is, there's a difference between digital literacy and digital fluency. So you
yes,
can be digital literate, saying, like you said, using a YouTube video, or you can be a digital literate to use a Quizlet just for learning the vocabulary, and they say recycle. But are you fluent enough to use that technology, like you said, beyond that? Do you know there are different ways you can use just a single app like Quizlet into like Quizlet Live and other gamification elements that are in there that motivates learners online? Because I know some
yes,
of us are still on hybrid teaching pattern, and
yes,
and in that, okay, you see them twice a week, but you are online rest of the 3 days. So how
yes,
are you still being digital fluent enough? So what
yes.
can I do that in that way, Isra? Do I have to be self motivated, or do I need to find somebody to make a professional development plan for me? Or
Yes.
what do you think? What are the factors that make me digital fluent instead of just calling
Mhm.
myself a digital literate?
Yes. Well, that's a very good question, Maria. And allow me to answer this question from 2 points of views. Like,
Yes,
as a
please.
teacher, what
Mm-hmm.
would be the right path, okay, to do that? And at the same time, as a business owner, like if you are a school manager or a school owner, what can you do to support your teachers to become more tech literate and be able to use technology properly or implement it properly
Mm-hmm.
in your classrooms, and at the same time during the economic crisis that we're having, because most business owners would believe, oh, this means that I have to pay extra, or this means that I have to pay more to get extra professional development sessions or trainings for my staff or for my teachers.
Yeah.
So if we are looking at it from the teacher's perspective, it's very important, as I told you, to set your goal from the beginning. You need to
Mm.
know, first of all, what is your level of tech literacy.
Mm.
Like for example, yes, I can find YouTube videos. Yes, I can do a Kahoot quiz, but
Mm-hmm.
can you measure, for example, how your students understanding through these tools or not? So if you are at the level, like this means if you are like you don't know, for example, how to do a quiz on Kahoot, so this means that you are at the basic level. This is where
Yeah.
you need to start, which is like for example, like the course that we provide at Teachergen, which is called Apps for Every Teacher. So
Mm-hmm.
we try to help teachers to know how they can use different apps in the classroom. But
Mm.
if you are, let's say, on a more advanced level, then in this case, you need to understand. So now I know how to use these apps, but I don't know how can I implement them properly in the classroom so I can measure my students' knowledge or students' understanding.
Yeah.
So now we've moved into a higher level. And this is why at our PD Academy, we have 3 different levels of trainings or courses. The
Mm-hmm.
first one is for the basic or the teachers who are still new to
Mm-hmm.
technology. And then the second one is for the ones who are a little bit more advanced. They know how to use the apps, different apps, but they don't know how they can implement it in an academic way that can serve them or that can help them to know their students' needs.
Interesting.
And this is very, very important. So when you know where you are, then you can know what would be your next step. So it's very important to do this. And we are actually working on a project. This is the first that would help teachers know where they are and where they should be headed. And it's coming really, really soon at Teachagen. And this is the first time I announced this, but it's coming really soon, inshallah.
Interesting.
So knowing that, when you know where you are, you can start from there. Another thing is, do not keep looking for certificates.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
What do I mean?
And sleep throughout the webinar and don't even bother to listen.
Yes, exactly. Because this is something that we face for every time we announce an event. Is there a certificate? Is there a certificate? Nobody asks about what you're going to discuss in this event. They ask, is there a certificate? So this is very important.
On a position to understand how it feels, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's important to look carefully at the content of the training that you are looking for rather than the certificate. True. It's very, very important to do that. Another thing, this is a point actually that I learned yesterday from a very, very dear guest that we had on our Facebook page last night, Miss Fatma. She's mentioned a very, very important point yesterday, and I'd like to quote her in this point, which is volunteer. When you are still starting your path in doing something new, don't look at the profit right away. Start doing small scale projects. Because those projects, even if they are free of charge, like for example, you can do such things with other teachers or other or let's say at your school for free without asking for maybe be paid for extra time or something, because this will help you apply what you've learned. If you are not applying, you're not learning. Even if it's for free at the beginning, but it will give you, it's not going to be free. Nothing is free, because actually you will gain from it. It's not going to be financial gain, but it's going to be experience. Gaining the experience, gaining knowledge, getting feedback from other teachers or even from your own students will help you in developing the tools that you already know how to use, but you will be developing how to use them.
Yes, true.
So this is the first part, which is my advice as a teacher. And of course, being self-motivated is the key. Even if your school, even if your institute doesn't provide the proper tools for you, you are the one who should be seeking for your own development. No one will do it better than you.
True.
So this is a very, very important advice that I always try to give to all of my teachers, even the ones that, like, even at our company, whenever we have a staff meeting, I always tell them that you are the one who knows best what you need and who knows best how you can be better.
True. Yes.
Now, when it comes from business-wise now, so if you are a business owner, if you are a school owner, or if you're an owner of an institute, how can you support your teachers without having a financial impact on your business as well?
Yes.
Now, we have been developing a program at Teachagen that can help schools and institutes to provide or to know how they can do the in-house training programs. What's an in-house training program? It means that you don't have to hire a trainer from another company and pay money for them. What you can do is, in every school, like this is through my years of experience in teaching, in every school, in every institute, there are hidden talents.
Definitely
that
there are.
No one knows about.
Yeah, true.
Why can't you use them?
And we learn from them when we are working with them. I at times run to the same office for a reason, because I know she is fluent in that and she will help me straight. Yeah.
Absolutely. And even when you're looking at the financials, so imagine how much you can save if you have your own teacher and you're simply paying for, let's say, a few extra hours that where he or she will be providing training for your teachers, compared to going to a company that would provide you with the trainer and provide you with everything like an external resource. And this is something that can be like a financial burden to many schools nowadays.
So we have countries all over the world that are not, have the resources, limited resources. So,
exactly.
And they have an excuse, we don't have a strong internet, or we don't have enough resources to, get people from outside. But that's a perfect solution. So if you have to think in that way, how to utilize your in-house potential in that way.
Yes, exactly. And this is what we've been trying to support, like institutes and various schools with, especially in Egypt. And we have been, what we do is we try to find the hidden talents, or the hidden gems, as we like to say, like we like to name them. We find the hidden gems for them in their schools, and we polish the gems for them so that they can actually be the ones who will continue the journey with their schools when it comes to professional development. So we support those teachers. Once we find the teachers who have the talent, let's say, for example, for developing content, for gathering the staff's development, what we do is we try to support those schools in finding the talented teachers, the ones who are passionate about, let's say, teacher training. They have great presentation skills, for example, teachers who love like creating content, teachers who are like more of like social ones who like to go there and ask about their colleagues' needs or their needs, and how they can help them in providing those needs. So we find those talents and we try to help them polish those skills so that they can be ready to create the in-house training programs for their own teachers. We do this also like per grade. We do it per subject, because sometimes like some teachers, let's say science teachers, may not be able to understand the needs of math teachers and so on. So we try to do it also per subject, so that teachers can support each other in different teaching subjects. So I believe that this can be one of the solutions that can be adopted nowadays by school owners or school managements. If they can do that, it will help them a lot in like they don't have to sacrifice quality over quantity. You know what I'm saying? So they will have they will have the professional development programs that will be aiming to serve their own teachers' needs, and at the same time with the minimal cost possible.
That's amazing. I hope it becomes very successful, because I think it's the best solution for underdeveloped countries, or those countries who don't have strong internet, to follow the same pattern, and it will be very successful for them, because it will be a new game changer, in fact, for the education sector, and underprivileged will get a better education that they're deprived of because of lack of skills that teachers don't have. That's absolutely amazing.
And actually, this is something that has been like implemented in Europe and in the US. We have read a lot of research about this, and we have seen that not only that the schools have succeeded in doing their own in-house professional development programs, but also like district-wide schools have started like learning from each other's programs.
Wow.
So they would have, yes. So it could be something new to us here in the Middle East or the developing countries, but it's been widely used in the US and Europe, and they started to do district-wide programs that can like creating communities between schools where they can learn from each other's experiences when it comes to the in-house programs.
Yeah, and I would like to share my experience in this way as well, Israa. I did an action research on that when I was coordinating a program here at the university, and I did something similar. I called it teacher-to-teacher collaboration in there, and this is how we had short sessions once a week, and we learned from each other on a short topic about subject-wise what I was coordinating. And it turned out to be such a successful project because then I had an anonymous survey done to understand the success of that. And that's why I got so amazed when you're saying, oh, wow, somebody is really doing that again. And although it was just on a limited resources with the group of teachers I was here with, but it really works well. It works wonders, in fact. And their hidden talent and the gems kept on shining out, and they themselves got amazed that sometimes they're shy to come up in public, but among their peers, they were able to shine and show and reflect. And we learn
exactly
empowering each other.
And many studies have shown the psychological effect, because when you have like peer-to-peer teaching or peer-to-peer training, this is something that had more impact on teachers rather than having someone that they don't know and someone that they meet for the first time, trying to help them or support them. So they found that the teacher's response to such sessions was more positive than having an external resource.
Definitely, yes, because they were used to each other, right? They were already colleagues, they were already into that circle, so they were more comfortable presenting in a small classroom with those group of teachers.
Absolutely.
And it worked wonders. Yes. Great.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your input, Israa. I'm sorry, we can go on and on for hours and hours. We both are passionate about this topic, but unfortunately we have come to the end of the podcast, and I am grateful and thankful to you to come to our platform and discuss this topic together with us. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. I really enjoyed. I always enjoy your company, Maria, and I hope that we always stay in touch and always try to support teachers in every possible way. Thank you so much for having me.
Definitely, yes. We are not going far away from each other anytime soon. It's my pleasure as well, Israa, to have you, and the knowledge and the success you bring to this platform. I hope our listeners will also gain from that and gain from Teacher Gen and educational platform, educational webinar jam Likewise. Thank you, and
Sure.
bye for now.